In 2023, I started a sport program called Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance, and Zaagi'idiwin means love in Ojibwe. And as a basketball player and an ex-student athlete myself, I strongly believe that love needs to be present in the game to perform at the highest level. So I decided to create this program so I can help Indigenous youth excel and go beyond in their sport, especially at that high performance level, because that's my experience as a high performance athlete, and I wanted to eliminate the barriers that some of our youth face in sport and try to allow them to access that higher training opportunity. So I started Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance, and on the side, alongside with the one-on-one training I do with some athletes already and mentorship, I wanted to create some sort of community engagement piece. And through our community engagements, we are able to run free camps, work with communities in northern Manitoba and also southern Manitoba, and really just try to build that connection and that relationship with the people that we really want to help and show how sport can really benefit our youth.
When I was younger, there wasn't too many free Indigenous basketball camps, and I think it just gives them a chance to be around role models and have some mentors and just build community.
It's only a one-day camp. We wanted to create it that way because it's a special day. We try to incorporate some other fun things like Christmas music, some gifts, and some other stuff for the youth to take home. So it's more of a one-and-done camp. We try to run it every year, but our sessions are range three. We have 3 separate sessions for each age group. Age 5 to 9 will be the first hour or two. Age 10 to 13, and then age 13 to 17 or 18. We'll take in some kids who freshly just turned 18 as well, because they're still in school as well, trying to connect to sports. So. Both Josh and I being Westman alumni, and that being our stamping grounds and literally being painted outside on the wall, we really wanted to bring our community and our young people to where we felt like was home for us quite a long time. So our camp, the Zaagi'idiwin Sport Performance Free Indigenous Basketball Camp, will happen at the University of Winnipeg Duckworth Center. And we are very happy to be partnering with Winnipeg, or the Westman Athletics program as well. And they always have our support. And they always, So we're really looking forward to having it there. And hopefully in the future, continuing to have it at the Duckworth Center, because that's home for us. The date is December 20th. It's a Saturday. So the day right after school, so kids can look forward to something. We'll be mainly leading the camp. Josh and I did this last year, and we took the lead and shared the time. This year we want to try to make it bigger than it was last year, so connecting with any organizations that want to be a part of it, sponsor it, and also maybe some youth mentors that are doing well in the community today, so maybe coming to present and connect with some of our youth. And then we also usually get some coaches from the Westman program to come help out and support. Both from the women's program, because I'm an assistant women's basketball coach there at the University of Winnipeg, and Josh has connections with the head coach for the men's team. So we really tried to involve the University of Winnipeg as much as possible, and then also our Zaagi'idiwin coaches that have been helping me with the program since it really started, and they're mainly all Indigenous. We really want to make sure that representation matters, so our youth feel comfortable when they come in the gym.
Because it teaches Indigenous youth that it's okay to love your culture and learn about it and make friends through the sport aspect as well.
Last year we had some youth travel in from communities around Winnipeg. I know it's kind of a long travel for those that are further for one day, but we want to encourage more communities, if they're able to see this and see the benefit it can have, for communities to come on down and participate as well, because it's important. It's not just Winnipeg based, but it's Manitoba based. This year we're trying to make it even bigger and better by trying to get as many sponsors as we can to provide something more for the youth. Last year we had a sponsor who graciously sponsored us for some t-shirts, and it was awesome to see the kids go home with something and represent while they came into the camp. They all wanted to put it on right away, so it was awesome to see a lot of basketball players with our shirts and our logos on. So yeah, we're opening that invitation as well to anybody who wants to partner or look to be part of this initiative, because it's an excellent way to connect to Indigenous organizations like Zaagi'idiwin. So we have social media. We also have a website that has our email and our contact info page. Ultimately, the goal with Zaagi'idiwin is, and the dream at least, is to build a gym. We need an inclusive gym for our youth, an Indigenous-owned gym in the city that has access to knowledge keepers, and because for us, movement is medicine, basketball is medicine, and if we have a space for that for these young people who become interested in it, you don't know what the lives of our people can be now moving forward. So that's the ultimate goal for Zaagi'idiwin, and you can find us on our website or on Facebook or Instagram. I think it stems from both Josh and I's experience of picking up that basketball and ultimately changing who we are as people. Like for me, I feel, I can speak for you, but for myself, I feel like without picking up that basketball at a young age, like a lot of these kids that are going to be coming to this camp, I don't know if I would have been where I am today, as an educator and as, a student, as a coach, as a mentor, right? So the goal ultimately is to show kids that basketball can be a positive outlet for their life, no matter what level they play at, no matter what interests they're at. But that's the main goal of Zaagi'idiwin, is trying to find a way to connect identity, culture, and sport, which is key.
This fall, a gala was held in Winnipeg to celebrate the accomplishments of Indigenous youth in Manitoba.
This is the 31st annual Manitoba Indigenous Youth Achievement Awards, and we're here to honor Indigenous youth, celebrate them, recognize them, and just get together with the community, with the grandmas and grandpas, and everybody just take part in this celebration, because we're really proud of our youth.
These young people, they're the heart. They're the heart of our nations. And I'm glad to be here, honored to be here.
The award started in 1994, and that the only time we heard about Indigenous youth was, drug dealers, gang involved. And we know that there are youth in the community that are excelling, that are doing amazing things, but we never hear about it. So a whole bunch of concerned citizens got together and we decided to form this Achievement Awards. And we looked at the different aspects of where they could be accomplishment and the culture and keeping the traditions alive, like fishing, hunting, trapping. And so we just want to celebrate every aspect that they were doing well in.
Since its inception, over 400 youth have received an award for their accomplishments at the event, including 18 winners this year.
I won an award for Health North, seeing a few of my family members in the hospital and seeing how Indigenous people have often got treated unfairly in healthcare, and healthcare needs a lot of work towards in the future. And I think I want to be a part of that change, and I want to help everyone with that.
I am receiving the Senior Volunteering Community Award, and what I think it means to me is that I'm using my volunteeringness and getting involved as a way to take up space in places where you might not see any Indigenous peoples. I go to a business school, so there's not a lot of us at all, especially First Nations students. So I'm actually the only First Nations student to have done and been involved in certain groups at the business school. And I think that I want to be that example where getting involved in these kinds of things and being in a school where you don't see a lot of us, it's very important, and I want to be that stepping stone for those students to see that they can do something like I can.
I'm receiving the Community Volunteer Junior Award. I'm from Fisher River. I like to spend a lot of time in my community and get to know new people and stuff. And then in our school community, Mila and I are actually co-chairs for the Medicine Wheel Committee. So we do like a bunch of different events, like we recognize Orchard Day and Moose Hide Day, and then we kind of just get the school involved with what we're doing to further a path to reconciliation.
They provide positive role models because there's a lot of youth who've won awards and said they sat back in the audience and heard these stories and they were inspired and they said, I'm going to win an award one day. They also then meet different people and that helps them go on and they get mentors too to keep going.
The recipients are chosen by a committee of Indigenous peers from the community.
Receiving this award just solidifies that I'm doing it right. I honestly thought a few months ago that I wasn't doing enough, but I realized that I've done more than enough. But I think that you shouldn't let yourself down because you've only done one thing or you've done a couple things. Like you've got all of these years to figure it out and do what you want to do and take time off and get involved. But receiving this award does mean a lot to me and that I should keep doing what I'm doing and I will continue to do what I'm doing.
Here this evening for the recipients of the 2025 Manitoba Indigenous Youth Achievement Awards.
It's good to see our community come together in a way to celebrate the youth and what they're accomplishing, and I just know how important it is to many, many people.
I hear voices, their voices. I don't remember their faces. I can't see the faces when I'm thinking about them and dreaming about them, but I can hear their voices. The sound that they make is a sound of glory. A sound that says to the world that Indigenous people in this land have made it. And we're making it again and again and again.
There's so many youth accomplishing, like we would really love to expand it, get more awards and get support for having them here. And like to get people, the youth from up north down here. So we want to solicit more companies and challenge them to not just make money off our youth, but to help be part of the solution.
As for some advice from this year's winners,
Get involved with anything you can. I used to be really distant from my culture, and I didn't really accept it. So I used to live in Calgary too. So once I moved back to Winnipeg and got involved with my community and joined the Medicine Wheel Committee, it just opened up so many different opportunities, and I feel like I've really grown since then.
Just putting yourself out there, as much as it's hard and as much as it might be scary, putting yourself out there, no matter what you look like, what you think, if you have different opinions, I feel like those opinions help shape how you grow and how you work towards reconciliation. And I think just being involved and trying your best to be a part of that change, it's very helpful to our community and to help the youth in the future.
Don't give up, because I definitely have, and it didn't really get it's you get to those low points in your life where you're you do want to give up, and I have definitely been there, but you kind of have to remember that you are your own person and you can do anything you want to do, and there may be barriers, and I've suffered lots of barriers, especially going to school and leaving school and coming back, and figuring out who I am. I think when you set a goal for yourself, you can work to it and have those barriers and get around them. And I think everyone is very resilient. I think Indigenous peoples as a whole, we're very resilient people. And I think just stay true to yourself and, work towards what you want to achieve, because you can achieve anything.
for more information on the Manitoba Indigenous Youth Achievement Awards, visit miyaa.ca.
Indspire is an organization that was established about 40 years ago. We're Canada's largest Indigenous charity, and our principal aim is to promote excellence, promote the excellence that is in our communities. So we have the annual Indspire Awards ceremony where we honor people who have done extraordinary work in our community, and we raise funds from many, many donors to give scholarships and bursaries to Indigenous post-secondary students. The national gathering would be in its 12th year, and it's a national gathering for Indigenous education and educators. So the people who would be here would be principally teachers in Indigenous communities, Indigenous teachers, some non-Indigenous teachers who have large groups of Indigenous students that they teach. And it's an opportunity for people to get together for professional development, to network with each other, to understand that there's lots of us out there, and an opportunity to visit our exhibition and booths to get the latest resources in Indigenous education. I think it's important for this gathering to address a lot of the problems and challenges that we've faced in our past. I think what we're talking about is asking the educators themselves to begin to support each other to change a system that historically has not always been on our side. So I think the biggest part of this will be, that saying, you have to see yourself in order to be it, right? So for an Indigenous young person, let's say even 10 years ago, it was pretty rare that you saw an Indigenous teacher in your classroom. That was quite remarkable. And so now we can host an event like this, and we'd have 1,700 Indigenous students or Indigenous teachers here. So there's a lot more examples of Indigenous educators in the system, and I think that's very important for changing. In terms of what I think people will take away from this discussion, we've got some great keynotes, very, very impressive people, some of whom have won the Indspire Award in previous years, and have a lot to say about some of our general themes. But there's a lot of breakouts where people have an opportunity not only to hear something very specific, but have that dialogue and back and forth. In some ways, the most important thing is just identifying that those barriers are actually there. So you'll hear from for example, our panelists this morning, or even at the roundtable discussions or in the breakout rooms, people saying, this is what happened to me. This is when I was a student, this happened to me. This is how I felt about that. This is how it affected my learning. And there will be educators in the room going, I never knew that happened to anyone but me. So a lot of it is identifying it, putting a label on it, and then working collectively to say, let's not do that anymore. Or let's make sure that our systems don't reinforce those kinds of thoughts. Everybody who's here is a teacher on the ground, someone who faces a classroom, and sometimes they don't feel like they're going to change the system. So, it'll be enough for me to change my classroom. But that's part of it. It's a building block of changing the broader system. So I think being a leader, taking responsibility, if you think something's wrong, say something's wrong, work to make change, all of that's really critically important. And so that's a big one. And I think a lot of it is methodologies. So if you visit the exhibition space, there's so many resources for Indigenous teachers that were not there before. So a lot of it is about classroom methods. You'll see it in a lot of the resources that are here. Yeah. And I think for years in the health field, we always felt that culture was healing and language was the best expression of culture. And now I think we're understanding that language, no matter how it's re-explored, is really important for education. So you'll hear the language theme quite prevalent here. To look us up, just go to the Indspire website. There's also opportunities to register early for next year. We'll be back here in Winnipeg. We've made a commitment to be here in the center of Canada for a number of years. And so just look us up on the website, and we'd love to see more and more people here. We get a larger number here every year.